Earth Day is around the corner. April 22nd is a day set aside to honor and preserve our Mother Earth.
To celebrate, why not do more than hug a tree? Why not climb a tree?
Why not? GMT's Paige Smith is live this morning at Reverchon Park in Dallas to find out how tree climbing has become more than just a child's pastime. It's now an actual sport. Hey, Paige.
Good morning to you, and good morning, Texas. Of course, we've heard of football, we've heard of baseball, we've heard of basketball, but what about the sport of tree climbing? Because guess what? It is a sport. I'm joined here by Arborilogical. I knew I wouldn't be able to pronounce this correctly. Arborlogical Service. This is Steve Hauser, and he is with Arborilogical Services and is in a tree. Hop on down here, Steve, because let's talk about this fantastic sport. And this is not just a sport for you. This is, of course, your business.
That's right. That's what we do for a living, is climb big trees.
Climb big trees. Well, before we actually get our our state champion, I want to introduce you to, this is Nick Martinez. You are a 4-time state champion tree climber. What is it that you love about climbing trees?
Well, I love working outdoors. I know it's a thrill, but it's fun.
All right, well, fantastic. We'll get to climbing, and I want to talk to you a little bit more, Steve, about this sport. Now, your organization has been very involved in this. In fact, you have had over 21 champions through the years. I have to say, this is a new information for me. I didn't even know that there was a tree climbing competition.
Right. We've won 21 different years with 8 different tree climbers that we've trained and worked with. So.
Well, let's look at what Nick is doing. My gosh, how quickly did he get up there?
He is doing a foot lock, which is where your feet bite on the rope. You advance the rope upwards from there. Some of the top guys can climb 50 feet in about 14 seconds.
I cannot believe how fast he was able to scale that tree. So when you're actually in a competition, what are some of the key things that the judges are looking for, and what are some of the challenges that you have to overcome during the challenge?
Well, there's 5 different preliminary events. 2 of them are 50-foot upper rope as fast as you can and ring a bell. One of them, Nicholas, was showing you the foot lock. The other one is a body thrust, where you throw your hips, pull on the rope 50 feet, and ring a bell. What he's simulating now is a work climb, where we start up in the tree, we have to honk a horn, starts the time, and then you have to go through the tree to do various workstations. What he's going to do is go out on that limb and try to do a workstation without touching that throw line that's hanging to the ground, which requires him to keep all of his weight up in the rope rather than on the limb itself. So the judges will count off if he touches the throw line down on the ground.
All right, well, this has got to be a relatively dangerous sport, and certainly a dangerous occupation, and you must have a real love for it. You have an interesting story about why you decided to become an arborist and your love for tree climbing.
Well, I was one of the nature kids that couldn't stay inside. Even when I was 100-degree fever, I had to go outside. And I was also one of those kids that loved to climb trees. So as I got older, I learned how to do it professionally and not fall out of the tree. But I had to go back to my parents and I said, look, Mom, I found a way not to ever have to grow up. I still get to climb trees. And so it's always been a love of mine just to be outdoors to begin with. It's the #1 most dangerous business in the United States according to the insurance industry. We often say you only get one chance to make a mistake. When you work 80 or 100 feet off the ground, 100-degree heat, freezing cold weather, if you make a mistake, it can cost your life.
What I'm so impressed by, look at him, he's out in these limbs. That's also a part of the competition, is being able to maneuver all of these different limbs as they come. And I also want to mention that it's not just your body weight that you're pulling up here. You've got a ton of gear that you're having to bring up, whether you're working or in a competition. This is a fascinating thing to watch. I'm so grateful that you were able to make this happen for us today.
Oh, I love it. It's a lot of fun. Some of the other workstations that he has to do, that's called the weighted station. Yep. One of the other ones is a throw piece where he has to go out. There's a bucket like this with throw pieces on it. He rings a bell, and then he's got to throw this piece down on a target to make sure it lands on the target.
All right. Well, this was such a fascinating. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. Where can we go and get more information about your services?
Our website is Arborlogical.com. It's the word arbor and then an I and then logical.com.
Easy for you to say, not so much for me. Appreciate it, Steve. I'll send it back to you. Come on down, Nick.